Hello and welcome to Fulham Fan News. Thank you to Kieran for last week and stepping in with Joe. A very good episode, um, talking about everything Fulham in that week. But I am back this week to lead the show. Kieran, how are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, good mate. Ready to talk about some lots more Fulham news. It's been another busy week of chaos as usual.
I think every week is just getting busier and busier, isn't it? And
Mm.
the soap opera that is Fulham FC continues to both excite and I think scare every Fulham fan. Yeah, so tonight's episode, we're just going to talk about the Everton game, how Fulham went to Goodison Park and somehow came away with 3 points and a clean sheet. Um, and then we're going to talk about obviously the situation with Alexander Mitrovic and some potential transfer targets before we finish up with the visit of the bus stop on Saturday. So yeah, we'll just get straight into it. Kieran, what were your views on the Everton game? How did you see it?
Well, yeah. First of all, it was brilliant to see Fulham football back for another season. I think we can all agree it's been far too long since Fulham have kicked a ball in the Premier League. And it was good to see the players back, all looking fresh, all looking fit. And it's also brilliant to see Mitrovic get some minutes as well towards the end. I would say him, Andreas, and who was it else that came on? I think it was
Bobby
who
Reed.
else? Bobby Reed, yeah, that was it. Bobby Reed. They were the game changers that came off the bench to get us a scrappy 1-0 win. It did give me throwbacks to the Brighton game last season, which was again another smash and grab, with Solomon obviously scoring and late on in the game, but we got the job done. Mind you, we were carved open a fair few times at the back, which was quite alarming. But thankfully, Everton didn't take the chances. Massive praise to Bern Leno. He's an absolute quality keeper and he really did show his worth. And what a bargain for a player of that quality. I think Arsenal probably wanting to sign him more than David Raya, but who they've announced today. But yeah, it was a quality performance from Leno. I think our back line looked a bit shaky at times, which could see Calvin Bassey start the next one against the Bees. But of course, it was brilliant to see Ream back on the pitch from his injury as well. I think that Sasha Lukic was brilliant, filling in for Polina, much better than we've seen him in previous weeks. And I think until Polina's back, which will hopefully be very soon, seeing as he's posted on his Instagram today that he is back in training, which is excellent. Um, I think he's a quality midfielder. It was brilliant to see Kenny back from injury as well, and I think all round, I think it was promising signs, but of course, still early to tell what the real like flow of play, how it's going to be, what players are going to start, and to see more players come back from injury, and of course, more players signed. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy with the win, whether it was deserved or not, whether the VAR decision should have gone our way. And yeah, on to the bees.
Yeah, it's a bit to me it was the perfect day because like you say, it's great to have Fulham Football Club back. It was good to see the likes of Bobby Reed come on and prove his worth to the club. Um, Joe. I think Joe picked him out as his unsung hero on a previous episode, and well, he's come straight in and done the job. I think William. I think he had a knock, and that's why he went off. Um, but it wasn't working in the first half at all, and I think a lot of that was down to the fact that Everton's midfield is so much more athletic, so much more dynamic than ours was at the time. Kearney is a wonderful footballer. I'm a massive advocate of Tom Kearney. Sasha Lukic, I've sung his praises since he's come, and I've said, look, just wait, wait, wait. This guy is so good. He's going to be a great player. But both of them, they like to move the ball easy, and they're not the quickest in transition. And physicality wise, Everton dominated us. As soon as they got the ball, Doucouré, Onana, they were gone. Um, and that first 45, like you say, we owed everything to Bernd Leno. Um, Ream looked a bit off of it. I must admit, there were a few occasions where he missed a pass. I think he slipped for the Doucouré opportunity. But hopefully he'll come back stronger. Well, we can't write off Tim Ream at all ever because he's done it so many times. He's come back. I do agree with you. I think looking to Brentford, I think we do have to look at Calvin Bassey as potentially coming in. But I think Marco wanted to give Ream the game for experience. Hopefully, just to get calm the nerves a little bit, get Fulham going, and it's worked perfectly in the end. I think our best move of the game won us the game.
Hmm.
Like you say, Mitrovic came on, showed his worth. But I do want to just nod to Jimenez. I think the more he plays with this team, I think the more we're going to see his link up play. You saw him, try a couple of dummies, a couple of 1-2s, and
He had a good
then
chance
to
as
be
well.
honest, I think, sorry,
He had a good chance as well. And
yeah, he hit the post.
before
He
he
hit the
scored.
post. Harry Wilson cut it back, and yeah, he hit the post. So I think that was just unlucky. I think he does look sharp. Um, there is, it's going to be a transition for him because last season he spent a lot of it injured as well as, not necessarily getting much game time at Wolves. Um, so yeah, I'm excited by Jimenez. But Mitrovic came on. Obviously, looked like he was going to go straight back off because he picked up that knock, played through the knock, and yeah, I think when Pereira came on as well, it kind of changed the game for us. He was pressing their back line and we were winning the ball a bit further up the pitch. So I think second half it was a lot more even. And it was going to be a case of whoever takes their opportunity wins this game. The controversy obviously is the Everton's goal stood. From my point of view, it's a no because there are two reasons. The first reason is it is soft to give it as a foul, but if the play had gone on, the ball drops off of Tarkowski's arm and goes directly to Michael Keane. Now, in Premier League rules, if a goal is scored directly or an opportunity for a goal score, an opportunity has come directly from the ball hitting someone's arm, whether it's accidental or not, it's pulled back. So I believe VAR would have pulled it back for that. The second one is if you look at it, when it does drop off of his arm to Michael Keane, there isn't a Fulham player beyond Michael Keane. All Fulham players are in front of Michael Keane. He is the closest person to the goal. So therefore, he would have also been offside. It's all hindsight at this point. So, I can say that. Everton fans can say what they want to say about it, obviously. But to me, it would have been ruled out either way. Going forward to Mitrovic's chance, my personal opinion is that is a penalty because Tarkovsky sticks his arm out a bit like a chicken wing. It's very unnatural to me to stick your arm out like that, and it smashes off of his elbow when the ball was clearly goal bound. Um, but I believe VAR didn't even look at that, so that's an interesting one. And obviously, we've gone on to see controversy throughout the entire weekend with obviously the Onana incident last night where Wolves should have had
In
a
one game
penalty
week already. One game
for
week in,
that.
and there's already this much controversy.
Exactly, it's going to and
Absolutely
it's going to
pathetic.
continue. It's going to continue. Yeah, so Wolves should have had something for that attack on Craig Dawson last night. Um, but yeah, overall, I'm 100% with you. I think we saw that although Fulham's depth isn't great, it's not terrible because they were able to bring Bobby Reed, Andreas Pereira, and Alexander Mitrovic off the bench.
Mm.
So I think it's a very good result. We've won 3 times in a row now at Goodison. And like you say, on to the bees. So let's talk transfers and let's talk about the elephant in the room. Um, Mr. Alexander Mitrovic has another bid on the table from Saudi Arabian club Al Hilal.
Mm.
Sky Sports are reporting it at roughly around 46 million. I've seen Ben Jacobs reporting it at 55 million euros, which is around 47 million. I've also been told that there are add-ons to be included, which would take it up to the 52 million. So obviously, by the time this goes out, the deal could be done. Um, and to be honest, at this stage, this close to the end of the window, I think Fulham need to get the money that they've asked and move on because it's a big cloud that's been hovering over the club now for a month or two. And although he came on and made a difference on Saturday, I do believe that um, he's half fit. That ankle is a real worry. And also, how many times have Fulham bent over backwards for Alexander Mitrovic? Last season, when he didn't want to play because of his injury before the World Cup, Fulham let him sit out 3 games. There aren't many clubs that would allow that to happen. Um, for me personally, I think it's time for him to go. It hurts to say that because it feels like you're breaking up with someone, but we've discussed this previously, and it just feels a bit like Groundhog Day. And as we grow closer to, the end of the window, Fulham need to make a decision, be forceful on what they want from Al Hilal because we know they've got the money. They've just bought Neymar for a stupid amount of money. I think it's 100 million euros, and then his contract's worth about 300 million euros, and he's got a house with servants for the rest of his life. I don't know, but yeah, some of the reports are just insane. So we know they've got the money. For me, I think Marco said the other day in a press conference that Fulham have a plan if Mitrovic goes. So I'd like to see what that plan is, and I want to see it implemented quickly. And I want to see Fulham replace Alexander Mitrovic, hopefully with someone a bit younger and someone with a bit more pace, and change the way we play because Jimenez and Vinicius can both play the way that Mitrovic plays, just not to the same standard that he plays.
Mm.
What's your opinion on it,
Yeah,
Kieran?
it is an interesting one. Of course, this whole Mitrovic saga has been the grey cloud looming over Fulham fans for a few weeks, of course, since the transfer window started. Of course, with Saudi Arabia coming in for players left, right, and centre, and Mitrovic being one of the central ones of being the talk of the town, really. Um, of course, I'd agree with you that if he's going to go for this 46 million plus add-ons price, I think Fulham do need to cash in on it. I think the cloud's been looming for too long. So if we hold firm, I'd be happy because again we've got like 15 days left of the transfer window. Um, the season's got going and we want to see Mitrovic play. So if we're going to hold firm, we hold firm. We stick with our player because he's an excellent player. We saw what he could do against Everton. He's an important attribute to the club, and I think we need to push through this again and kind of keep hold of him. Because I can't see any of our other players leaving this side of this side of summer, really. But of course, if we do go, we will be cashing in, which is good because the money will be used for another number 9. And as you say, I'm really interested to see what this plan is they have because there's plenty of strikers out there who I'd happily take at Fulham. I posted a tweet earlier that was like, surely regarding Mitrovic's little knock that he's been carrying, we should cash in because who would want to have a player who's only half fit, as you say? Of course, Jimenez and Vinicius are still brilliant players, but are they up to the same kind of integrity as Mitrovic? Maybe not. So cashing in for Mitrovic amid his injury could be a way forward and could be a sensible decision. But of course, that divides opinion in itself. So whether Mitrovic goes or not, I think it'll be a loss. And of course, he's a club legend, so I hope he gets the send off he deserves, despite him going to the Saudi League. Should he leave? And I hope we can cash in for someone who's better. Well, I say better. It's football. Can you get anyone better? Many people will disagree. You can't get anyone better than Mitrovic, but of course, as you say, someone younger, someone more pacey, a bit more agile, a bit more and with a bit more integrity, and who can last at the club for a long period of time, as did Mitrovic all those years ago when he came in. So many heroic seasons, so many seasons of just scoring goals left, right, and centre. He's been an incredible player. Someone who definitely shouldn't be subject to any abuse or anything should he leave. Because as you say, there's going to be a way forward, and Marco's got a plan. So I'm interested to see what happens. That's more or less my opinion, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of, people saying, "I'll get rid," and some people saying, "Hold on," like yourself. I mean, like I said, my personal opinion on it is it's gone on too long, and it all looks very much like it is going to happen. So yeah, we'll just have to hold fire on it. Like I say, by the time this goes out, it could be done. Um, but let's talk about some possible incomings. We've seen today, obviously, Sky Sports have reported that Fulham are still interested in Timothy Castagna, a player that I very much like, can play either side of defence, would be a great addition to the side, a Belgian international, someone that I think could push both Kenny Tete and Anthony Robinson. But again, the fee just apparently he's agreed personal terms, but again, the fee just seems to be the sticking point. Um, Around 12 million, I think I've seen reported, but I've seen some reports say 19 million. So he's one that may happen. Also, in the same report, Sky reporting that World Cup winner Gonzalo Montiel at Sevilla could be an option. Um, and since then, it's been reported that he is now the third choice right back at Sevilla. So I think River Plate were interested in taking him back to Argentina, but they can't afford to take him. Again, we're looking at 12 million euros. So I think it's obvious that Fulham are looking in fullbacks. It's obvious that Fulham are looking for central midfielders. And, you know, as we talk, the Callum Hudson-Odoi deal continues to amble along at some sort of speed.
Snail's
I
pace.
have no idea. I think he's got lost, to be honest. He's walking down Fulham Palace Road up and down. He hasn't got a clue where he's going.
Mind you, it's slightly worrying seeing that Chelsea have agreed a deal with Michael Elise, because I saw somewhere in a few reports that they were going to include Hudson-Odoi in the deal, meaning he would end up at Palace. But I hope he doesn't, and I hope Fulham can, even if it is at snail's pace, push through and get the deal done. Because it would be a shame to see him end up somewhere, considering we've been linked with him for more or less all the window. So
Yeah, so I can tell you that I spoke to Niz Kinsella, who is a Chelsea reporter, and he said that that report regarding Chobe and part of the deal for Elise is false. So at this
right,
moment
there
in
you go.
time, he is still looking like he's going to join Fulham. Obviously, if Elise goes, Palace have a bit of money, they may change their mind, but at the moment, that report was false. So
Thankfully.
um, still a Fulham target, very much apparently. Apparently they have a broad understanding on all aspects of the deal, which, take from that what you like, but still no agreement. Um, and obviously today I've seen reports that potentially the Damari Gray deal isn't dead either. So, Fulham are obviously in for wingers, in for fullbacks. And obviously people haven't taken much notice of the fact that we still haven't used our loan quota from
Mm.
domestic loans. And
Interesting to see
usually
how that
Fulham do
goes.
definitely use those. So I expect a couple of loans to come from somewhere.
Mm.
Um, but an exciting one that Lorenzo Laporte posted earlier was Juan Ignacio Nardoni, who is a Racing Club central midfielder, can play as an eight or a six. Very 20 years of age, very young Argentinian midfielder, highly rated. Um, and apparently Fulham have made their interest known to the club and his agent, and a deal. Racing apparently are looking for around 25 million euros for him. So I don't
Be a
know if
good
you know
price.
anything about him. Not many people will, but it still seems that Fulham are looking to South America for that midfielder
Yeah.
they want.
I don't know too much about him, but again, as you say, it would be an exciting transfer, and especially after Fred's completed his move to Fenerbahce, I think looking for another option of his sort of quality would be a sensible idea. Of course, the window's drawing to a close, very like it's nearing a close, so whatever deals come about soon, we need to kind of. I'm expecting a few more signings. Of course, we'll get onto it in a moment, but Adama Traore, happy to see him come through the door. But of course, we're expecting some more, so I'm sure I will rate him after I've seen him play. So yeah, get him through the door.
This is the thing, isn't it? Everyone's a bit frustrated by it, but Fulham always do their business late in the window. They always have
Mm.
done, and I think while Tony Khan and Alistair McIntosh are at the club, that's the way it's going to be done because they look to get the best player at the best price. Um, and Fulham Fan News just tweeted out about this and said that we waited all the window for Anguissa and ended up getting him at half the value that Marseille wanted for him. We waited all the window for and Anderson, and again we were quoted 25 million by Leon early in the window, and by the end of the window, we could have him on loan with £1 million as the loan
Mm.
fee. So it does work at times, but also it's really frustrating,
Yeah,
and it is,
good thing it comes to
and
those who wait for.
it's got people questioning whether the club's for sale because they're not spending any money. There's a lot of speculation about, but I think the bottom line is that Fulham will spend money. I think five or six bodies will come in the door. And obviously, if Mitrovic goes, I think we could see that spending go a bit higher and a bit quicker because we'll have
Mm.
that money to be able to go, right, yeah, we'll just give you that money to get
Yeah.
someone in. But yeah, I think the key word here is frustrating, to be honest. But we will talk about Adama Traore because I'm very excited. I mean,
Definitely.
a
I was
player that's
very
come
happy to
through La
see that
Masia,
notification. Very happy to see
yeah,
that ping through on my phone after just winning after just beating Everton. I was like, yeah,
yeah,
happy
it was
weekend. All that
a
it made it
very good
even
day
better.
for Fulham. A very good day for Fulham fans and the club alike. And what a way to announce it with a bottle of baby oil sat on the seat there. It was
Should frame that in
absolutely
the loop.
brilliant.
Frame it in the
Bravo,
loop.
bravo to the social team. Um, but yeah, I like I say, I'm very excited. I think it's a fantastic deal, to be honest. On a free, especially as he had interest from other Premier League clubs, Saudi and European clubs. And reportedly, he joined Fulham on less than what he was offered elsewhere.
Mm.
Um, so this is a guy who wants to come and prove himself. Came through La Masia at Barcelona, so knows how to play football. Um, and I think under Nuno Espirito Santo at Wolves, him and Raul Jimenez struck up one hell of a partnership. And that
It's going to
end
rub back the years.
that final ball that Adama Traore is so questioned on, he found it under Nuno. Now, if he can find it again under Marca, another Portuguese manager, there's very high ceiling here for this signing, in my opinion. I think he's the sort of player. I've seen people comparing him to Dan James, but to me, Adama Traore is far and away
Much
better than
better,
Dan
I'd
James.
say. Not only is he like incredibly pacey, he's got ridiculous pace on him. He's also strong built, as we can see. Um, yes, he did relegate us a few seasons ago, but who cares? He's at Fulham now, and as you
But
say, he's a quality player.
that goal proves that he's got the ability because he flew.
Definitely.
I think it was Congola, wasn't it? He just flew
Yeah,
past
he flew
Congola,
past him and just
smashed it in the top corner,
smashed it into the
in the
far
near
corner,
post as
and
well.
yeah,
And
just
we've
relegated us. It's
seen him on his
heartbreaking.
day. We've seen him on his day tear
Mm.
Man City to pieces. We've seen him on his day, brush people off left, right, and centre. I think it's
I
going
think
to be a signing that just gets people out of their seat.
City will be scared when they see Jimenez and Adama up front for Fulham again, and we'll actually end up beating them. But yeah,
Well,
quality signing. Very happy.
yeah, and on a free, it leaves money elsewhere to go and put that money into another position,
Mm.
maybe a fullback, maybe a central midfielder, who knows? But yeah, I'm very happy with the signing. To be honest, I'm very happy with the business so far. It's a bit slow, I agree, and it is a bit frustrating, I agree. But when you look at Saturday's game and you see the three players that we were able to bring off the bench compared to the players that Everton were able to bring off the bench,
Mm.
I think that puts it in perspective that yes, Fulham's squad depth isn't great, but it's not terrible either.
Yeah.
And Adama's only going to add to that depth. If Wilson isn't working, like I thought Harry Wilson didn't have the greatest game on Saturday. I thought every time he tried to drift inside, he was just snuffed out by a more physical player in probably Decore or Onana. Um, and I thought he didn't have a great game. I think someone like Adama Traore could come on and change that game by staying wide, stretching the game a bit.
I said
So
it
I'm really
before.
excited by the signing.
I said
Sorry?
it before. I said it before, but though people may be frustrated at how the transfer window is going, just you got to put it into perspective. We haven't lost any of our key players yet. We've signed three brilliant attributes in Jimenez, Bassi, and Adama, and we've been linked with loads more players. So realistically, it's got better for Fulham fans. Yes, Solomon's left. Yes, we've been linked with loads of Saudi bids, and the Daily Mail reporting that Palhinha's going to go and West Ham doing whatever they're doing. But realistically, it's all rumours. Fulham have still got the same squad they had last season, minus Manor Solomon. And considering we've signed three extra players, we're in a stronger and better position than we were last season. So keep the faith and ignore the rumours.
Yeah, no, that's great. So off the back of that, rousing statement there.
Mm.
We'll move on to talking about this week's game against
The
Brentford.
bus stop in Hounslow.
A bus stop in Hounslow. I come into town. Yeah. So
Great.
obviously Brentford don't have Ivan Toney. They played Spurs at the weekend. I thought they looked a bit shaky at times, but they obviously still carry a goal threat. And
Definitely.
we beat them last season at the Cottage with that fantastic header from Mitrovic at the end, and Kevin Mbabu's legendary cross. I call it a legendary cross because it's the only thing he's ever done. So
Written into Fulham folklore.
exactly. So how do you see the game going on Saturday?
Well, it'll be a good game. Of course, Brentford did bring the game to Spurs the other day. Of course, that game ended 2-2, so I think this could go either way, really. As you say, they do have the goal threat of Johan Wissa and Brian Burmo. They're both brilliant players, and I think they do show a threat. Hence, why I think we need to put Bassey in instead of Tim Ream and see how that fares with regards to defending. But with regards to how the game's going to go, I think it will be quite open. I think like last season, we played them early in the season, and yes, we won, which was excellent because of obviously we started the season really strong, and I think we will have a chance against them. Whether I think we will beat them or not, I don't know. I personally see this. I see us drawing, but I think to see us start the season strong with a win against Everton, and to see the likes of Adama Traore on the bench, Palhinha coming back from injury, and hopefully Mitrovic staying. I think with all the options we have, I think I do see it being a game full of goals, and I do hopefully see Fulham coming out on the right side. Mustn't take anything away from the fact that Brentford have lost David Raya today as well. But as we've seen, Flecken is would I call him good? Maybe not, but he's the replacement, and I think considering his performance in recent weeks, he could be a reason to see Fulham getting some goals. But all in all, should be a good game. If you're down the Cottage, have a good game, and let's hope we come out on the end of this West London derby.
Yeah, for me, I'm excited to see if Palhinha's back. I'm hoping that he's back. 'Cause obviously, he's back in training today, so hopefully he will make the team. I think that
Bringing
makes
Palhinha
Fulham.
off the bench would be mad.
Yeah, well, I think if Palhinha plays, it makes Fulham so much stronger. And obviously, we saw on Saturday with Tim Ream struggling a bit. I think a lot of that was down to the fact that Palhinha wasn't there. Um, like you, I agree. I think Bassey should come in to counter the athletic threat of Johan Wissa. Um, but unlike you, I think Fulham were going to win the game. And that's because of two things. One being that we already have the upper hand on them, one beating them at the Cottage last season. Sorry, three things. One beating them at the Cottage last season. Two, we beat them in summer series. I know it's only a friendly, but
Mm.
bragging rights. And it will give Fulham confidence. And three, it's our first home Premier League game of the season. And especially if Alexander Mitrovic isn't there, the rest of them are going to really show up, in my opinion. I think
Mm.
even if he is there, they're going to want to give the fans a good start to the season at the Cottage because there is a lot of players there that are happy to play for Fulham and want to play for Fulham and want to give everything for Fulham. So I think there's going to be a lot of good vibes going into the game. Hopefully, we can get another signing over the line before the game. Um, but yeah, I think, and the way we play, especially, I think Jensen's out. There's a chance Ben Mee might be out. And like I said, we beat them in summer series, and I think Fulham Fan News tweeted out saying that Mark Flecken is not good enough to replace David Raya. He's going to have an absolute worldie now, but
Mm.
in my opinion, I agree. I don't think that Mark Flecken is the replacement for Raya. I think he made some really big mistakes in summer series. Most notably when he went for a run when Adingra scored for Brighton. That I don't know where he was going then, but yeah, I think if we can start the game fast and go at them with Palhinha back, with Reed and Pereira. Pereira starting will be a massive part as well. I think we need to get Pereira starting and have that core back because one thing I've not touched on, beating Everton at the weekend is such a big result for Fulham because it's the first time we've won a game without João Palhinha. The
Absolutely.
first time. I think it's the first time we've taken any points without João Palhinha. So having that off our backs as well is a massive thing. So if he doesn't play, it gives them confidence to really, we can do this.
Positive
Also,
energy ahead of the season as well.
exactly, if we can pick up another win and be on 6 points after 2 games, we'll be ahead of where we were after 2 games last season.
Mm,
So, like you
absolutely.
say, we've not lost anyone, albeit if Mitrovic is to go, he is to go. But there is room for optimism. There is reason to be positive as a Fulham fan right now. And that is that we are winning games in the Premier League. We are looking at signing some really good players. We have signed some really good players. And like you say, at the moment, we're holding on to our best players. And we stopped, well, Marco Silva decided to stay rather than becoming the most well-paid manager on the planet. So,
Mm,
you know, everybody should be happy to be a Fulham fan right now. So, Kieran,
definitely.
I want a score prediction for the game on Saturday.
Score prediction. Oh, well, I forgot to do it in the last episode, so sorry about that. But you've changed my perspective. I thought we were going to draw, but considering the all your factors you just mentioned there, with being at home and being the first home game and the energy the cottage brings, do Brentford stand a chance? Probably, but do they stand a chance of winning? No. I'm going to go with 2-1 Fulham, and I'm going to go with probably Raul Jimenez to score one, and I don't know, someone like Harry Wilson to score as well. If that actually happened, then I don't know. But yeah, 2-1 to Fulham, and it'll be a brilliant way to start the cottage games for this season and put us in a really strong position ahead of Arsenal and Man City, who we've got next, which are just brilliant.
My prediction is another 3-2 victory for Fulham.
Oh,
And if we're talking goal scorers, I'm going to say that Jimenez will get his first Premier League goal, and I'm also going to say that Sasha Lukic will score.
wow. I'd love to see that
Yeah,
happen, to be fair. He's in class.
I think he's ready. He's getting
Mm,
better with every game. He's understanding the game, and I think if Palini is back when he does come on, if he comes on, if he starts, maybe he'll start higher up, or he'll come on and play higher up.
mm,
I think he's ready.
yeah.
So, thank you
We'll see
very
what
much for
happens.
watching, everybody. Kieran,
No
any
worries.
last
Anything?
thoughts?
Not really. Just let's let's beat the bees and look ahead.
Thank you very much for watching. Just want to mention that we do have a partnership with Foco UK. Please check the link down below, and all your Fulham goodies are in there for you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.